I'm Mrs. Lopez. I'm the assistant principal here at the high school, and welcome to our very first annual Cardinal Awards. The Cardinal Awards, as I explained to many of the parents and students when I talked to each of them, is a new program, a new recognition program that we instituted here at the high school, modeled similarly to our Student of the Month, where every advisor of a club or activity is asked to select one student who shows exemplary qualities of leadership and general excellence in their organization. Now, you'll find as we continue through this program that some advisors just couldn't pick one and often felt it was unfair to just pick one. So some advisors did pick two, especially some of the larger programs, some that had 80 students or so in them, some did pick two. But suffice it to say that the students in this room right now are very exceptional students. They've shown great leadership in various organizations as diverse as our music programs such as Red Scare, Interact Club, Science Olympiad, and National Honor Society. We have a wide swath of students and different types of students, all of whom have shown strength in their area of interest. This program came out of a need or kind of an area where we thought we didn't get a chance to recognize these students. We have athletic awards, we have Student of the Month, but we have nothing for those clubs and activities. So this is an award program that was a long time in coming. As an educator, we often think of academics as sort of our bread and butter. That's what we focus on. That's the vast majority of our school day is focused on, you know, being the best student we can be. And often, you know, within the athletic department, we often say they're student athletes, students come first. But one thing that we kind of forget about is those extracurriculars. One of my favorite songs, this is actually a college song, it's called Bread and Roses. It's from an early 20th century, actually protest song, poem that became a song. And the song, the refrain is, give us bread, but give us roses. So the bread here in this scenario, of course, is the academics, and that's very important, and we need that. We need to sustain their learning and feed that passion. But we also need roses. We need that, the art, the beautiful part, the interest, our passion. And so many of these students right here have found a passion in an area that's outside the classroom, and we want to recognize those students. So let me just first say a few logistical things. Inside the program, you'll see that we have, it's just a straight alphabetical list. But because of coverage and some other logistical things on our end, we're going to be calling students up completely out of order, so you'll never know when you're going to get called. And same with the teachers, so teachers just have to be at the ready. So without further ado, we're going to start with Ms. Katz, the advisor for Students Helping Honduras.
My name is Elisa Katz. I'm one of the Spanish teachers here. I'm also the advisor for Students Helping Honduras. And I just wanted to recognize one of my officers for the club for this year, Shannon Ercaboni, who I've known since she was in 7th grade. She's currently a junior and will be entering her senior year next year. And she's been a very involved member for the last few years of Students Helping Honduras. It's an organization that I brought to Lawrence a few years back when I was still at the middle school. And we raise money and awareness to help fight poverty and violence in the country of Honduras by raising funds and building schools in Honduras. When I was asked to choose one of my officers or somebody that was involved in the club, it was very difficult because all of my club members and officers have been extremely involved over the last few years and have really truly shown that their interest in the club has been something that's important to them and have gone above and beyond in all of the areas and expectations. And I believe that our club is as successful as it is because of the officers that we have But when I was starting to think about who I wanted to truly recognize, Shannon came to mind because she's somebody that is always, always on top of everything. She comes to all of our events. She's at every single one of our meetings, no matter what the circumstances are. She makes it a point to be available, to be there, to put other things aside, and she also is able to work with all of the club members to kind of gather information. She is our director of membership, and she keeps track of all of our club members, reaches out to them in times of need, if we have surveys or things like that. And I just want to say thank you to Shannon, thank you to her mom and family for being so supportive of the organization and the club, and congratulations, you have really done a phenomenal, phenomenal job this year, and I look forward to working with you again next year and traveling with you again to Honduras.
All right, our next advisor is Ms. Gonzalez, who will introduce her student for newspaper and also will be speaking for Ms. DeGennaro, who's not here today, for CIA.
This is Nicole Johnson.
So,
I'm speaking for Ms. DeGennaro on her behalf because she couldn't be here. But I have her words here that I'm going to share with you. I am proud to have selected Nicole Johnson from the Change in Action group for her dedication, commitment, and passion she exhibited throughout the year. Nicole, known for the best hug giver ever, attended all meetings and role modeled what it meant to be a leader. She is passionate about the mission of the group and always came to meetings with a positive attitude and an eagerness to learn. Nicole was reliable and made sure every responsibility was given was carried out. I look forward to Nicole being an active member of CIA next year as we move the group to do bigger and better things.
thank you.
Nicole.
I'll miss you too.
She's also on the staff of the Laurentian, and I'm the advisor of the Laurentian, so I know her as well. Now I would like to talk about Madeline. Madeline is one of my editors-in-chief at the Laurentian, our school newspaper. And despite the fact that she was supposed to be the junior editor, she took the position and ran with it. An editor-in-chief needs to be a strange mix of both artist and politician. You need to be able to assess good writing, which is a textual skill, but also have an eye for design layout, which is a completely different skill set. And on top of that, you need to be able to motivate people diplomatically. Students that aren't getting paid. Students that aren't getting a grade for this, and are probably involved in a whole bunch of other clubs too. But she was an integral part in ensuring that her peers not only rose to the occasion, but submitted their best work on time. The Laurentian looks very different this year, and I know it's mostly due to her vision and ingenuity. Part of me is so crushed that I won't get to work with her next year. But I know that wherever she takes it, it will be absolutely amazing. And whatever she decides to do in life, she's going to excel. Congratulations.
All right, next up is Ms. Welsh, and she's going to be presenting for two organizations.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. The first award I'd like to present is for student government, Jackie Drury. Being the third child in a family is sometimes difficult. You feel like you have to follow the footprints, you have to do this, you have to do that. But Jackie is a trailblazer, and I kind of enlisted her for student government way back when, and she moved up through the ranks, and she's currently president. And she's been an excellent president. She's one of these people that is soft-spoken, kind. When we get rattled, she stays calm, unfortunately. She's going to teach us all something. But I'm proud to say she's been a great leader. We've done a lot this year through homecoming and the different missions we've done and fundraisers and other things to benefit the community. And I'm going to miss her. I'm going to miss your kind smile and your caring way. You have a really good heart. And I know you're going to be a terrific speech pathologist someday. And I expect to hear from you. So, thank you. Okay, the next award is for my class, the class of 2017, and that's for Kayla Krisak. Oh, you have fun. Kayla has been with me now, we're going on 4 years. When students come over from the middle school, sometimes it's hard to make that adjustment. And I know when we're looking for officers, and it's kind of a hit or miss. You know, you hope for the best, you talk to people, and you know, you kind of cross your fingers that all will be well. Kayla came over, and I didn't really know her because she's not in my part of the alphabet. But after freshman year, she was marked. You're going to be president. That's the way it's going to be. So she's kind of been president ever since. She's got the poise. She's got the grace. She's just an outstanding young woman who is quiet and always gets her point across. She's one of my late night email buddies, and I know if I need something, I know that when I email her, I'm going to hear about it. But more than that, she's got a nice manner with the other kids. You know, sometimes things get heated. People don't always agree with us, don't like the fundraisers, don't like this, don't like that. But Kayla is the shining star through all of this. And I'm very proud to give you this award. You're welcome. You're welcome.
All right, next is Mr. Verga for the class of 2018.
Hi, good morning. I'd like to call up Samantha Pazluzny. Come on up, Samantha. I am the class advisor for the class of 2018, so the current sophomores, rising juniors for next year, and I'm lucky to have a really strong group of officers for my class. Some of them have been with me since freshman year, some came on sophomore year, but it's a really strong class. They're pretty motivated. They try a whole bunch of different things and ideas to try to raise money, and the one person that keeps it all together all the time is Sammy. She's our class president. She was class president last year. She's class president again next year. Always coming up with ideas, always moving everyone in the right direction, and that's why I chose her for this. So nice job, Sandy.
All right, so next up from our music department is Ms. Kehoe, and she's got quite a few people to bring up because she's half of our music department right here.
All right, good morning. I'm going to start with our Band and Orchestra Award, so Tristan Kirbishley, come on up. There are over 115 students in the instrumental music department, but there are only a handful brave enough to participate in every ensemble possible. Tristan was able to do that as a freshman this year, participating in concert band, marching band, jazz band, and pit orchestra, a significant time commitment throughout the year. Not only did he participate in all music ensembles, but he also competed on the LHS swim team and didn't miss any rehearsals, frequently, which is pretty much every week, coming directly from the pool to the band room with no break in between, which meant Tristan sitting through jazz band completely soaking wet so he could be at rehearsal on time. I've been lucky to watch Tristan expand his passion for music this year, and he has become a cornerstone of the music department, even as a 9th grader. Music is his soul, and he jumps at any and every opportunity to practice and perform. He is an incredibly talented musician who has the potential to take LHS music to new levels in his next 3 years. He keeps his peers smiling with corny jokes and comments during rehearsals, and never passes up an opportunity to say hi to another musician or one of his teachers. When I enter the building, he is always the first one waiting to enter the band room and the last one to leave before he has to go to his other classes. I couldn't be more excited to have Tristan in the music department and can't wait to see where his talents take him. I knew immediately that Tristan would be the recipient of this award, and it comes as no surprise to his peers. Congratulations, and please continue to shine in the music department. Congratulations. The next one we'll do is the Jazz Award, so Kieran. The dedication and commitment and talent that Kieran shows sets him apart from his peers in jazz band. Kieran finds a way to attend every rehearsal and performance while participating in numerous other activities and sports. and comes to rehearsals prepared and ready to teach the rest of the group. The dedication Kieran shows to the group goes above and beyond, and we are fortunate that he chooses to share his talents in so many of the ensembles here at LHS. He is constantly looking to master new techniques on the saxophone and apply them to solos and ensemble performances. Outside of school, Kieran performs with honors ensembles throughout Central Jersey and spreads his talents to those in the community. He is a mentor to younger students here, and the type of young adult we all know will make an impact in society. Additionally, his sense of humor keeps rehearsals relaxed and enjoyable, especially for myself and co-director Sharon Rello. We are honored that Kieran will be with us next year as a senior, and we look forward to hearing him perform and lead the LHS Jazz Department once more. Congratulations. All right, the next one, we're just going to keep going, is the Marching Band Awards, so Red Scare, Susie. The Marching Band here at LHS is one of the most unique organizations I've ever been a part of. I learned that my first day here. It is truly one of the most unique organizations around. The pride and camaraderie within the group is unparalleled, and it is all a result of student leaders and musicians who are proud of their school and their talent for one another. In my mind, every student in the marching band deserves one of these, and the decision to choose just one was extremely difficult. Susie stands out due to her constant quest to think not only about the band in the present, but also about its long-term success and how we as an organization can thrive in the future. She envisions ways we can make the marching band an incredible experience for students who might just be entering LIS next year, but will see us perform and will want to join with us one day. There aren't many high school students who consistently put others first and strive to make the experience of marching band incredible for those she may have never met. During the season, Susie brainstormed ways we could get our image out into the community more and market ourselves to Lawrence. She led the band as a section leader and showed poise and control during trying moments. Susie has already left an indelible mark on the Lawrence High School Marching Band, and she is only a junior. I am thrilled to name her the recipient for the Red Scare Cardinal Award. Congratulations. And I'm also going to ask my colleague, Mandy Johnson, to come up for the next one. This will be the Triumph Award for David Connelly.
So it's not often that I get to help give one of these awards for a student that I actually have never had in class. But I have had the pleasure of working with David in so many different things that he's done over the years. It's amazing how well I've gotten to know him over this time. So I want to tell you a little bit about him. David Connelly is one of the most altruistic, dedicated individuals that I've had the pleasure to work with. Over the years, he has invested his time and his talents in nearly every musical group and organization in the district. He's been playing trumpet and piano in our academic bands, our jazz band, our pit orchestra for the musical, and that's all in addition to accompanying every choir we have on the piano and being the president of Triumph, our Music Honor Society. And he's also one of our 2 drum majors who assist in running the marching band. He's the kind of student who leads by example every single day. He treats all of those around him with kindness and respect. He is the kind of student that other students look up to and aspire to be like. He's the kind of student that we teachers consider ourselves lucky to work with every day. I'll hand it over to Ms. Kehoe.
As I said at our music awards night, David and I are, I guess, in the same generation. And as I grow up as well, I told David, I hope that as I continue to grow up, that I learn the same ideals that he has and continues to show to his peers. He's an amazing role model, and I think he's someone that we all hope we can become no matter how old you may be. So he's helped incredibly this year. When I first met him before the school year started, we sat down with him, and he outlined everything that the marching band has been about, the ideals that he wants to see continue, and how we can make it better. And I credit him tremendously with the success that the music department has had this year. So congratulations.
All right, and since I'm up here, I'd like to also talk about one other student today. Can I have Felipe Alonso come on up? So Felipe was the very first student to welcome me to Lawrence. So last year I came in as a new hire, and I walked through the band room, brand new, nervous, and I was introduced to the marching band who was there for band camp. And I smiled and I waved, and I knew that somebody in that room was in one of my classes in Madrigal, and I didn't know who. But I didn't have to wonder long, because Felipe immediately stood up and shouted and said, "Hey, you're my teacher!" And he was so enthusiastic and welcoming. It was such a great way to enter the school. I have since had the distinct pleasure of teaching this welcoming, intelligent, focused musician in our auditioned SATB choir. Even as an underclassman, Felipe took on a leadership role in both his section and in his choir. He was always the first to learn his music. His fellow tenors constantly looked to him for help on difficult sections of music. Felipe does a great deal of extra work to rise to that challenge. I often see him in the practice room in his spare time, learning and perfecting his repertoire. And when his classmates ask for help, he does it with great modesty, while building others up. Felipe is a natural leader, a focused musician, and above all, he is a kind and generous person. Congratulations, Felipe.
All right, so next up, if we could have Miss Erica for the yearbook.
First, I just want to say congratulations to all of you. I love stuff like this. It's so fun. I normally don't have to write down what I like to say about my students, because I could talk for hours and hours and hours. But I had to write down my comments about Jackie, just because I don't know if I'm going to get through it without tearing up a little. This is a bittersweet moment for me. I get to stand here and praise Jackie Jury, all while knowing she is graduating in 11 days. I'm not ready for her to go, but so beyond proud and excited for her. Jackie has been a part of my life since her freshman year, and as a field hockey player. And finally last year, I had the pleasure of having her as a student. I am the yearbook advisor, and about 4 years ago, the yearbook was a club. This year, 4 years ago, I was lucky enough to have it become a class in our journalism program. So she entered my class as one of 2 juniors and was the editor of the yearbook this year, which all the seniors get today, so it's really exciting. Creating and designing the yearbook is a $35,000 project, and I can wholeheartedly say that Jackie could have been in charge without me. Jackie amazes me with the work she puts in the yearbook. Not only is she editing and redesigning her peers' pages, but going home at night and starting on the next deadline. I never ask the kids to work at home, but Jackie takes the initiative. She never seeks credit, but simply does it because she loves it. She is beyond creative and shares my love for centered, justified copy. Jackie has a kind, mature soul that makes her wise beyond her years. When class gets stressful, Jackie is the one you want by your side, as her calm demeanor makes everything seem perfect. I am in awe of her organization. At times, I am a complete mess, and she keeps everything in control. Jackie is the yearbook and deserves to be recognized for it. I want to thank you for your devotion and support to the work, to the class, and to me. And I want to publicly thank Jackie's parents, who have raised an incredible young woman. Thank you for supporting her and me, and Jackie, keep your creativity alive. LHS Yearbook has been lucky to have you.
Okay, can we have Ms. Hartzog, please, for Model Congress?
Good morning. As the teacher of AP US Government and as one of the co-advisors for Model Congress, it is my pleasure to stand here and echo not only all the comments that have been made about these incredible young men and women, but to also echo Ms. Zerico's comments to you, their families. Our jobs as teachers and advisors, much like yours, is when entrusted with these young, incredible human beings, is to follow the Hippocratic Oath. First, do no harm. And I'm hoping that we have allowed all of these children to shine and be distinguished. If you've looked at the news recently, the American political system is broken. The world knows this, but take heart. Katie Carpinelli is here. As a member of Model Congress for 3 years, she began first by simply racing around the State House trying to figure out where the rooms were. She did this very capably. Quickly, advisors from other schools noticed her. Last year, she was a committee chairperson. The advisors from the other schools noticed her. They wanted to know if this year she would be an overall leader. Mr. Wolf and I approached her and she said, "No, I don't think so. I think I'm best as a member of debate." John F. Kennedy in Profiles in Courage said that the Senate is the most deliberative body, which we all know, and that it takes a great deal of human courage to risk not being reelected, to stand by your convictions, and do what is right and best. This is what Katie Carpinelli is all about. She taught the 9th, 10th, and 11th graders how to be ideal members of Model Congress. She would do this by teaching them how to argue the point of view that is not your personal passion. She came after school again and again and again, often working with just one other new member, and her efforts paid off. She fostered new leadership. And to me, this is the greatest gift she could have left Model Congress. So it is my distinct pleasure to recognize the future of the American government. It's a much brighter picture. Ms. Katie Carpinelli. Katie is now going up to teach my government class. May David Connelly please join me at the podium. You all now know David Connelly, and I have known him for a number of years and had the pleasure of teaching him over a period of 2 years. David stands before you as a member of National Honor Society. Members are chosen at the end of their junior year and serve in their senior year, primarily focused on spreading academic vigor to the entire school, a passion for learning, support for one another. In addition, they have a fundraiser, the infamous Teacher Jeopardy, Student Jeopardy, now Cardinal Jeopardy. Last year, before he was a member of National Honor Society, David helped us promote the then brand new Student Jeopardy. He played the trumpet in every key to play the Jeopardy theme song before school, during school, after school. He and his team then captured the title as the champions of the first ever Student Jeopardy. They had raised a great deal of money for the Homefront Children's Summer Camp, and he wasn't yet a member of National Honor Society. This year, he has continued that excellence. He was the MC this year of the Jeopardy project. In addition, David worked tirelessly in spreading academic excellence by being part of a brand new Cardinal Connections program. And just as he spread excellence before he was a member of the organization, he will spread excellence after he graduates, because he developed a tiny URL, a way for us to electronically connect with others. Yesterday, elections for this year's officers were held, and many of the students mentioned this idea and expanding it. So, David, your work goes on, and isn't that what it's all about? So, David, we'll miss you. You are amazing before, during, and after your membership in National Honor Society.
Next is Ms. Bruner with the class of 2019.
Hello, how are you? It is my pleasure to give this award to Ali Gutierrez. She was a class advisor of the freshman class this year, and to be honest with you, we were freshmen together. We were both new to the high school. Every email, message I sent out, and there were many, Ali was the first to respond. If I asked the officers to come find me, literally within minutes, she found me. She went above and beyond for every single fundraiser that we did. She came up with creative ideas. She's hardworking. She is maybe more organized than me, which is very impressive. And she was a pleasure to work with this year. I'm very happy to report that all of her hard work paid off because she is now going to be the class president for the sophomore class next year, and I cannot wait to work with her again. So congratulations, Ali.
Next will be Miss Eng from Operation Smile.
Hi, I'm Cheryl Eng, and I'm the advisor for Operation Smile, and this is Olivia Wabin, who I am so very proud and happy to present this award to. If you think, how can you make a difference in this world? Olivia has chosen this passion to make a difference in the lives of others. She's igniting a spark that shows her passion through service and education, and not just in our community, but globally, which is something that is just amazing. And she's truly a leader. And she shows this through her intelligence, creativity, her super organization skills, and just her passion to what she brings. This year, she's our president of the club, and she also serves as one of the regional officers in Operation Smile, which is an international charity. So she talks to everybody in the tri-state area and throughout the world, really, which is amazing. And last year, or actually this coming year, she was chosen as the first ever recipient of a scholarship for the International Student Leadership Conference out of hundreds of students, hundreds of international students and people in the United States. So it's just a fantastic thing that she's doing. And this year she is on her way. In July, she will be traveling to the Philippines on a medical mission, and she's going to be teaching kids and helping out with the medical mission in Cebu, Philippines. And she and one other student are going. And then she's going to be off to San Diego, which is another conference, and she will be leading students, our club members, like over 20 kids from our club are coming, and she's the reason why they're coming. And she will also be helping other kids, international kids, at the Student Leadership Conference. And so I just wanted to honor her, and just so proud of her. And her parents, I wanted to also acknowledge them for raising such a great kid. And thank you. Thank you. All right, thank you.
All right, so next is Ms. Schneck, who will be also presenting for two organizations.
Good morning, everybody. Now I'm going to start with Erin first. Come on this side. Erin is currently a student in my Marketing 1 class, and my Marketing 1 class runs that great student store behind us. It's more of a lab experience for them. This way they get an insight about business. They're allowed to put it on job applications. They know how to run a register. They could do inventory, merchandising, buying. The students have to work about 2 days a month. And they sign up at the start of the year, we make the schedule. Well, Aaron came up at the start of the year, because he's such a great guy, and said, look, if you need extra help in the student store, if a student's not here, I'll take over the position for the day, and I'll make sure the store is open. I didn't want to take advantage at the start of it, and then he kept coming in, why didn't you tell me the store wasn't open? I would do it for you. And then I started to rely on him. And this just says a lot about his character. He does all these wonderful things without looking for a reward in the end. All right, he has great leadership skills. He tries to be funny every now and then, but he's just an all-around a great guy, and I thank him very much for all his help this year. Striker pose, up in the air. All right, these two ladies over here had an opportunity to compete at DECA. DECA has over 10 million thousand students worldwide. We've been around for about 70 years. We're the largest student youth organization in the world. DECA tries to prepare leaders in the area of finance, marketing, business, and entrepreneurship. These two ladies, Ann Chaw and Anjali, are second-year members, and they competed this year in business operation research. They wrote a 30-page manual after they went out and observed and evaluated, did market research on a company called 215 in Philadelphia. Then they had to put a presentation together. They competed on the regional state level, which gave them an opportunity to go out to Tennessee this year and compete at the international conference with 17,000 students from all around the world. Last year, they took 5th place in the world. We were excited. But this year, they took 1st in the world, 1st ever for Lawrence High School. I am very, very proud to be their advisor. They worked so hard this year, and we have another year together, so we have great things that we're going to go on yet for Lawrence High School DECA. So I congratulate you for all of your hard work. There you go. You can hold that. You can carry it around the rest of the day.
All right, and next is Ms. Andahazy representing Science Olympiad.
Oh, you wore your shirt. We sort of match the color coding. Do you want to hold this? Good morning. Should I talk in the microphone? I had started to write remarks, but they became a volume, and I didn't know how long you'd want to stay here, so I'm going to do it from memory, assuming I'll forget some, and it'll be a regular amount of time. Liz came to be known by me, Science Olympiad co-chair at Lawrence High School, through her activities in science. And she was recommended by her freshman biology teacher, Mr. Babrashak, to maybe look into the Science Olympiad Club. And she visited with some of my current members, and she stuck around in such a way that she elevated through the ranks, and this year is our president. She is humble, she's hardworking, she's kind, and one of the things I love about her is that she models the behavior she wants to see. She does not ask anything from her team that she's not expecting of herself and probably already doing. I also love how she stands on other things in our school. For instance, when it came time for prom, as you all probably know, promposals are a really big deal. She was promposal too, and then she turned right around and did her own promposal to her good buddy who they decided to go together because both as a pragmatist, she said, you know, why are we even doing this? And as a feminist and liberal, she's like, I'm going to do my own, because in a world where a female can become potentially a presidential candidate, a female can do her own darn promposal. So I was really proud of her for breaking those gender lines. She was voted unanimously as president this year, and one of the things I also loved is that she sometimes acted as advisor. I would be composing an email in my head, and then before I was finished, an hour later, it would just be out to the club with professionalism and detail and everything that they need to know, even better than I could have done it myself. Her peers are better for having known her. Her high school is better for having known her. And as she goes off to Rutgers next year, my alma mater, who has an excellent science program, Rutgers and the world beyond will be better for having known her. And I hope that wherever she goes, God and a guardian angel and really great people are with her, because she's a wonderful person.
All right, next is Ms. Witt, representing the Math League.
All right. I'm very pleased to be honoring David Horn here for the Math League. To give you a little history of Math League and my position in it, I think will help you appreciate David's big impact that he's had on the group this year. I started coaching Math League 3 years ago, and when I took over for the club from another teacher, it was, I think, this kind of forgotten club. It's like some people were in it. Some kids mostly just did it because their math teacher said they'd give them extra credit for going to the competitions. And like, it wasn't really anything people got excited about. It wasn't really anything that people were in because they really were passionate about math. And now this year, in my third year with it, and having David being such a big part of the club, he's one who's there like every time we have a competition. I know I can count on David to be there. Our competitions are scored based on our top 3 performing students, and that's how we get our team score. And David was always one of those top 3. I think almost top 1 every single time. I think like one time he might have just gotten second place instead of, first. This year we had the first time since I've been the coach that we came in first place, and that's including being against like all the schools that we're normally competing against in here, which usually every time we're competing, there's those 1 or 2 schools that are always the top school. Like no matter how high we get up there, we'll get to third place, but we even came in first place one of these times, and I know that next year we're gonna be even better than that. And not even just performance-wise. So, I mean, performance-wise, David brought us up to this whole new level. But even within the organization of the club, when it came time to talk about how we want to expand Math League, more things that we want to do, bringing in guest speakers to come. So this year, in coordination with Ms. Andahazy, we helped work on getting a new guest speaker to come in, and we're going to expand on that next year. So I'm just so excited with the direction that this club is heading in now. I feel like it's really come and like reached its potential, and David has been such a big part of that. Now, going into next year, he's going to be one of our Math League officers for next year, which is great. And we already had our first officers meeting the end of this school year to start planning for next year, and he brought a lot of great ideas to the table, so I can't wait to get going with a lot of those. So thank you very much, David, and congratulations.
Next is Madam Salehi, the advisor for International Alliance.
Hi, I'm here to present Niharika Sahai for being one of the best officers for International Alliances. As you know, International Alliances is not only a culture fest, it has so many events during this, the year, and she was doing her best. She was always present in meetings with a big smile. Sometimes I was feeling that, oh my God, I don't know what is going to happen. And she was looking at me and she was saying, Madame, don't worry, everything is on control. And she was really very, very responsible. And I'm here to give you this award and thank you for everything you did. Niharika is going to leave us this year. She's a senior. I wish you the best in your life and your education.
Next, if we could have Ms. Clark with the Gospel Choir.
Good morning. I first thought about writing something out, and then I changed my mind because I wanted this to just be a raw moment from my heart, because I really wanted you to know how I feel about you and how impactful you've been over the years for Gospel Choir and Jerry Robinson. So about 3 years ago, Jerry joined the choir, and it was around that time we were just building. We were pretty much just starting out. We were a new club here at the school, and I didn't really know what to expect at first. I had a lot of students who had great talent, and it was a job trying to put talented students together to perform. But they were outstanding. They did a great job. And I became acquainted with Jerry, and she was different. She set herself apart. Even though they were all amazing, they had great talent, she was different because of her passion. I saw her heart. Music was in her heart. She was very sincere. It was not something to do just to pass the time away. This is who she was. Like, music is who she really is. She loved it. And every time she would open her mouth, she would sing like an angel. I'm not sure how many people have actually heard her sing, but she has the voice of an angel, a beautiful voice. And it was about 2 years ago when she was elected as the president of the gospel choir, and she still is currently president of the gospel choir. She pretty much took over. Like, I laid the standards, laid the foundation, told her what I wanted, and she took it to a new level. And I thank you for that, Jerry, because 2 years ago, I was dealing with my own personal situations and trials and tribulations, and there were days in gospel choir I thought I couldn't make it through rehearsal. And I don't know if she just had this connection with me, but she would look at me and she would just, it's like she would nod her head like, I got it. And I would say, do you have it in Jerry? I got it, Miss Clark, I got it. And I would just walk away and go to a different section, or I would teach the part to sopranos, and I would turn to her and say, and Jerry, do you have it? Do the altos know what they're doing? We have it, we have it, Miss Clark, we have it. And she's very dependable. I could always depend on her to always do exactly what she was supposed to do, above and beyond. And I don't think I can find the words in Jerry, and I'm trying not to get emotional, to say just how much you meant to me. And I am going to miss you so much. And I wish you the best. Thank you so much.
Next, if we could have Ms. McCabe, who's actually going to be pinch hitting for Ms. Vaughn as well, who could not be here today. So she will be presenting for Forensics, Tangents, and Interact.
Good morning. I'm so proud to present these Cardinal Awards to students who have been such fierce competitors on our school's debate and forensics team. This first student is knowledgeable and assertive in a way that is impossible to forget. Her contrary nature has been honed over the course of her time as a cornerstone of Lawrence High School's varsity debate team, during which she has spent countless hours collaborating with teammates and conducting research, poking holes in policy, and often rightly questioning statements that have been presented as unarguable facts. I hope she is as proud of her accomplishments as her teachers and coaches are of her. Sydney Gould is a force for this world to reckon with. Congratulations on your outstanding achievement, Sydney. This next student is also a varsity debate team member, who has personally taught her competitors the veracity of the phrase, "Don't judge a book by its cover." She is a formidable speaker who harnesses knowledge and strategy and overwhelms the competition with a smile. She has spent each debate season honing the affirmative argument over the course of many competitions through research, critical thinking, and teamwork. Katie Carpinelli has many reasons to be optimistic about her future, and I hope she is as proud of herself as she is fierce. Congratulations on your outstanding achievement. Now I'll be presenting awards for the Interact Club. It has been said that doing good for others, so this is from Mrs. Vaughn, who could not be with us today. So this is for her student, Barbara Gruska. It has been said that doing good for others is not a duty, but rather a joy, because it elevates our own health and happiness. In my many years of living and teaching, I have found this to be absolutely true. There really is no better feeling than the one that comes with bringing some kind of positivity into the lives of others. I also feel quite privileged to work alongside some of the most amazing students at Lawrence High School who embrace this very philosophy. While so many of our students deserve to be recognized for their compassion and involvement in the community, one student stands out not only because of her passion for serving others, but also for her leadership. Barbara Gruska very naturally rose to the role of president of Interact, our community service club at the high school. She is such an easygoing, kind, bright young woman who makes it all look so easy. Throughout the school year, Barbara ran weekly meetings after school, facilitated community service events and opportunities on campus and off, and recruited new members to grow our little family. She also did a phenomenal job communicating everything that was happening using technology so that all members were always in the loop. What is most impressive, however, is that Barbara did all this because she wanted to, because it's simply the right thing to do. She's not the kind of student, or human being for that matter, who performs community service because it's a requirement or because it's needed for college applications. She did it because that's who she is. She is the genuine article. I'm not the only one who can attest to Barbara's superb character, her ability to lead, and her awesome personality. All teachers who know her echo my sentiments. Barbara is all of this and more as she took on her role in Interact while undertaking the most rigorous academic courses Lawrence has to offer. As a result, Barbara will be joining the freshman class at Princeton University this fall. I'm so very proud of you, Barbara, for all that you have achieved. I will miss your smile next year, but look forward to your visits to let us know how Princeton is treating you. I wish you lots of love and happiness as you move on. Go get 'em, girl. Miss Vaughn. Thank you, Barbara. And this next student is a member of Tangents. This is Laura Bentavegna. So once again from Ms. Vaughn. If the definition of multitasking is the handling of more than one task at the same time by a single person, then Laura Bentavegna is the superwoman of the multitasking world. Seriously, we should be awarding her with a cape in addition to her certificate. Laura, for the past 2 years, has taken on the role of president of Tangents, Lawrence High School's creative magazine. Laura is a writer, a scientist, a mathematician, an editor, a singer, a photographer, a graphic designer. This young woman does it all. For Tangents specifically, Laura has consistently run weekly meetings after school, majorly contributed to the magazine's content, maintained the club's website, and designed the entire book for production. She has an amazing mind and an unstoppable work ethic. What impresses me most is Laura's ability to write prolifically. I can't for the life of me figure out how she manages such a rigorous course load and produces pages and pages of short stories and poems in her free time. Without fail, Laura showed up every week to our Tangents meetings prepared to share her latest creations, and she seems to do it all so effortlessly. A good quote about writing always gives me the goosebumps, so I want to close with something Neil Gaiman, contemporary writer of fiction, penned. On writing, he said, "This is how you do it. You sit down at a keyboard and you put one word after another until it's done. It's that easy and that hard." Indeed, anyone who has tried to write anything in his or her lifetime can attest to how difficult it is to find just the right words, to get what's in the mind out and onto the page. Laura has certainly made it look easy, which speaks to her ability to sit, focus, and get the job done. Gaiman went on to say, "The world always seems brighter when you've just made something that wasn't there before." Laura, you have certainly made my world brighter. These past 2 years with you in Tangents have been joyful for me, and I will miss your passion, your creativity, your diligence. While it is a given that you will be beyond successful in the STEM field, I hope that you keep the fire alive on your creative side and continue to write stories for all of us to enjoy. Ms. Vaughn.
And if we could have Miss Baldwin to come up to present for both the fall drama and the spring musical.
Good morning. I would like to ask my two stage managers, Rachel Rivera and Taylor Gray, to come on up. I would like to honor them today. Being a stage manager it can be a really thankless job, but you are balancing all kinds of skills. You're balancing organization, communication skills, you're handling other people's problems, all under a stressful situation of putting a show together. And Rachel was our fall stage manager, and Taylor was our spring musical stage manager. Now we have more than one stage manager for each show, but there's always one stage manager that kind of sets themselves aside as kind of the lead stage manager. And these two were definitely the lead stage managers. Let me tell you a little bit about Rachel. She comes into my room every day, first thing in the morning, and always has some interesting stories for me, makes my morning a little brighter. She also comes up with a lot of fundraising ideas for theater, a lot of t-shirt ideas. And as a stage manager, I feel like she kind of taught the other stage managers how to do their jobs, which was really nice. She's quite a teacher in herself. She also, another thing that is a feather in her cap this year is she got an award for Best Director at Bucks County Playhouse for one act she directed for our Theater 4 class. So I think that that's worth mentioning. But I wanted to thank Rachel for her hard work on the fall production as stage manager. Taylor is our president of theater company this year, and she has been a rock for me for the past several years in terms of being a stage manager and an officer. She always is pleasant and calm, even in the most stressful rehearsal situations. This year's rehearsals were especially stressful because we had so much dancing involved, and the students were tired, and people were cranky and in difficult situations for those rehearsals that were so long. Taylor helped organize our first ever Saturday rehearsal, which went smoothly, and we got so much done thanks to her and her team of stage managers. And I trust, with looking over the whole show in the booth. The head stage manager always looks over the whole show and makes sure everything is running right. I can just sit back and enjoy the show. I don't have to worry about it when I know either Taylor or Rachel is in charge. One other thing that Taylor did every night before I went to bed, I got a text from her. Should I tell the cast that we're rehearsing this tomorrow? Yes, please tell the cast that. I got a nice email, and I knew everything was going to be just right at rehearsal the next day before I went to bed, and it's all because of Taylor. So I want to thank her, and I want to wish her well at Villanova next year.
All right, and next is Ms. Walter, one of the advisors for peer leadership.
Good morning. Josie and Sydney, if you guys can come up. Don't make me do it alone. Where's Josie? My name is Nicole Walter, and I am one of 4 advisors for the Student Leadership Program. Student leadership this year is made up of 74 juniors and seniors, and we really ask them to kind of be everything for Lawrence High School. They're the ambassadors for the freshmen. They run freshman seminar and freshman orientation, and so they're really, part of their job is to help the transition for freshmen coming into Lawrence High School, and that's a pretty big task. And to do that, they give up a lunch once a month to work with freshmen in small groups. They also run the freshman orientation, and we have 250 to 300 freshmen descend on the building in the end of August, and the entire day is run by my student leaders. But they don't just do work within the school, they're also ambassadors to the community for Lawrence High School. So whenever we have events at the high school, our student leaders help run those events. So they come to back to school night and they help organize it, and then they help you guys as parents find the classrooms, and we know that gets really stressful for you. And they're here at parent-teacher conferences, and they go to LIS Character Kickoff and help run that event to be model citizens for the kids at LIS. And they just do so much. So you have to understand, I have 74 amazing kids to choose from for these awards, and it was really hard, but you guys really stood out. I'd also like to say that of the 29 students getting awards today, 12 of them are student leaders. So that gives you a sense of just the caliber of character that we get to work with, and am privileged to get to work with. So anyway, specifically Sydney for freshman orientation, she was here at 6:45 in the morning, Staff got here at 6:30. She got here at 6:45. I had said to somebody, I need somebody to run registration. And she said, I'll do it. I'm organized. I'll do it. So she was here at 6:45, and she had her folders ready, and we had 250 kids registered and another 40 that showed up at the door. And she was my rock, and she sat there, and she made it happen. And again, imagine 250 kids descending on the building at 8:30 in the morning. It's their last day of summer. They haven't seen each other. The energy is through the roof. The hormones are through the roof. It's crazy. And she did it. And she got everybody in, and we started on time. And just amazing. And for all of these events that we run, I'm constantly posting on Facebook, I need a volunteer for this. I need volunteers for this. I need volunteers for this. And Josie's always one of my first volunteers. She goes to everything, and she juggles that with playing sports and helping take care of her grandmother and just being a wonderful person. And she still gives up her time to do this for me. So thank you to all my student leaders, for all of you in this room and what you do. But thank you, ladies, for being wonderful for 2 years and really being able to count on you. Congratulations.
And our last advisor is actually Mr. Irving, who's usually behind the camera, but we're going to ask him to come over here and be in front of the camera for our last award.
Okay, Bill, come on over here. Make life easier for Benny. All right. I'm Mr. Irvin, and I'm the media technician for Lawrence Township Public Schools. Part of my job involves working with a student crew who helps take care of things throughout the district. Adil first came to me as a sophomore, and initially his primary interest was becoming involved behind the camera, recording events for LTPS TV. But when it became apparent that we didn't have enough announcers, he stepped up and jumped in and became an announcer. I'm sure many of you have seen him on LTPS TV, where his sportscasts have always remained positive. He, regardless of how the team is doing, if they're out there doing fine and winning the game, he remains positive. If they're going down in a defeat comparable to the fall of the Hindenburg, he will still remain positive and end his broadcast with his own personal tagline, "Go Cardinals." Well, that's what you see on TV. What you don't see is the amount of hard work and dedication Adil has shown behind the scenes. For the past 2 years, Adil has actually transferred out of study hall, where he will come down one period a day and work at the District Media Center, doing audiovisual repairs, laminating, and even editing some of these shows that you see on TV. Then when he gets done with the study hall, he'll go to his senior out to lunch period, which he usually spends down at the District Media Center doing even more work, showing more dedication. I made a couple quick notes here. Some of the things that he has done recently, he actually took charge of the entire technical support of the Mr. LHS production that was shown over at the middle school, working the sound, organizing the lights and the video for it. Very similarly, he did a lot of work putting together the LTPS TV coverage of the Memorial Day Parade, which he also starred in as he rode in the back of the truck with a camera. And just yesterday morning, I recorded over at Slackwood Elementary School the recorder concert. Well, Adil jumped right on that, and from start to finish, edited that program, got it completely done so that we'll be able to have it up on TV for this weekend, so the elementary school kids can see themselves on TV. Adil's proven to be helpful, cheerful, organized, and a take-charge kind of guy. In fact, so much so that this year, faculty members have been going to him to tell them what their requests are for technical support. He comes and tells me what I need to do. Next year, Adil will be attending Mercer County Community College for communications, right? Mm-hmm. And our loss will be his gain. Adil, good luck in your future, and thank you for all your support.
Okay, good morning, everyone. I'm Mr. Adam. For those I have not had a chance to meet yet, I am the very proud principal here at Lawrence High School. First of all, to all the students here, congratulations. It's amazing sitting here and listening, as you probably have done all morning, to all the awesome, amazing things our kids are involved with here at Lawrence High School. And we're very proud of our seniors, of course, who are going to be leaving us, as you heard. But today's not just only about seniors. It's about some of our students who are freshmen, sophomores, juniors as well. In the leadership roles, all of those students have had an opportunity to step into. And as our seniors are leaving us, Mr. Irvin put it very nicely at the end there, as they're leaving us, it's an opportunity for our underclassmen to start stepping into those roles, like we said, and take an opportunity to show what they're made of. I'm very proud to sit here today and listen to what our teachers have presented all morning, because it's a great cross-section of all the different things that our students are involved with. Great in the classroom, of course. We're very, very proud of their academic pieces, but also good citizens. You heard so many opportunities about giving back to our community, giving back to their underclassmen, giving back to their friends, working with each other. It's about being part of a family here at Lawrence High School. We're very, very proud of being part of this Lawrence High School family. So again, to all of our students, congratulations, but to the families as well for being here today. Not only supporting your children for being here today for this event, but all the years to get them to the recognition pieces that have been shown throughout the years here at Lawrence High School. We're very proud of that as well. So to the parents, students, how about we give our families a big round of applause and thanking them for being here today. The last thing I have to say is I want to thank Ms. Lopez. Ms. Lopez is actually the person who helped put this all together and lead this breakfast for all of you. This was her creation, her idea, and it's a great way to put a capstone to all the events going on all throughout our school year that you guys have been involved with. So Ms. Lopez, thank you very much for putting this all together for us. And lastly, again, to all of our seniors, congratulations. We are so thankful for all that you've done for us here at Lawrence High School. And we look forward to seeing you on the 20th on Sunbank Arena. And one last big hurrah before we send you off into the world. So again, thank you for being here today. Have a great rest of your morning.
All right, so we had a very long morning, and we have a wonderful hot breakfast back there. The cafeteria is a little fussy because they thought that it's going to get all dried out. I'm sure it's going to be delicious. But I'm just going to leave you with one thought. So Mark Twain, got to end with a quote here. The two most important days of your life are the day you're born and the day you find out why. We as educators, we always urge our students to find their passion, and many sitting right here already have. So with that thought, thank you all for coming, and please help yourself to a breakfast and coffee, and thank you so much for coming. Congratulations, students.